Welcome to Turn to Your Neighbor. This is the Christian Talk Show where we talk about the church, music, movies, social media, and a whole lot more. My name is Cliff, and this is Dr. T.
Hey, neighbors.
And this is Big Dre.
What? That, I still had to work on that. What up, neighbor? We had to go big one time for Dr. T. One time.
So oh Lord.
Okay, well, let's just cut right to it then. Neighbors,
I'm gonna be okay, man. It's just a lot happening in my life right now.
This is gonna be quite an interesting show. Right off the top, we have a big announcement that this is Dr. T's last show with us. She is moving on to bigger and better things. And we'll
I'm moving to a different time zone.
We'll no longer have time for
that will make it incredibly difficult for me to it'll be impossible when the podcast goes live on Tuesdays. I will be
that's 6%
on my way home.
6%.
Yeah.
That's what she say. But something about messing up my brand, and I can't be fooling with y'all no more.
Let me talk about this, son. She was so worried we gonna get her fired. I say we got her a new gig. That's what I say. I say this show increased
That's
her
a good
brand.
Story.
Yes, I'm gonna stick with that one. I'm not going. I'm gonna completely downplay the fact that you and the other Dr. T have published multiple books since this show. You published the books because of the show. How about that? We got your brand together.
That's one theory.
You out here flourishing, and you gonna leave us.
That's an alternative fact. That's the category I would put that in.
But no, we are really happy. I'm gonna get my speech later. We ain't gonna do it right now.
Okay, but so we have an interesting show because I got a couple clips from when Dr. T first joined us.
Wow!
I dug in the crates.
My face was a little thinner.
I dug in the crates to pick out for y'all young people. Crates where people used to keep records.
Had different hair.
Records are things that play music that spin, these vinyl discs that spin for all the young people.
I'm about to say you said crates and records. They don't understand the thing you're talking about.
That's why I explained it to the young people.
I actually think our audience skews older.
We're
probably.
This is the internet. You never know. Audience. You don't know. You never know.
You never know. We saw 35.
They're young at heart.
But it's so hard.
Let's be very clear. I'm not 35, but
wow.
The general reach is 35.
You always ready to call us old. You see how people are.
Just stating facts.
I'll be old.
Wow.
I look the youngest, so it's all good. Neighbors, do me a favor right now and hit the share button wherever you are. Share, like on Facebook and YouTube. Share, like right now. Help us out with the algorithm.
Congrats to Dr. T.
The algorithm of it all.
The algorithm.
Yeah.
Algorithm.
I am happy that we didn't get you fired.
Is it possible? Right, that did not happen. That would be a good juicy rumor, though.
We should clarify that though.
Would be a great rumor that actually had to skip town to get a job elsewhere because the show got me.
Because clips
got me because the show the show. They said we invite you to submit a letter of resignation.
Yeah,
they fire you real classy around here.
They do.
I didn't say nothing about you being fired. That was my brother, and the neighbors are letting you know that they not 35 yet. The younger neighbors are chiming in, letting you know
we not 35.
They not 35.
How old's Kristen? Kristen a whole liar.
No.
She
How you gonna say that she lying on what age she
traced in that line?
So.
Line, Renee, I know you're not. Yes. Okay, we gonna clarify.
I have a question though.
Go ahead.
If my schedule should open up, can I hit Cliff up? Like, Cliff, will you still let me be on the show? Cliff actually controls who gets seen.
I guess we let you in from time to time. Oh, I
Hey,
guess you
I'll
know.
let you in from your office. I'm like, hey, is she available? Hey man, nah, you gonna set up a whole new life, but we are
I
happy
am.
for you,
I'm
and
gonna miss this though.
we gonna want you back. We gonna definitely. I'm 31 and fine. I'm sorry, Kristen. Okay,
All right, so
here
I
we go.
wanna. So this show is gonna be a little different than other shows because, like I
Right,
said, we got some Dr. T clips
classics.
from a few years ago. Also, there's a lot of crazy stuff happened in the news.
Yeah.
There's gonna be one. I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be one clip that we're gonna show. It someone can find it hurtful, and you may not think it's appropriate for a younger neighbor to hear. But it's
Okay.
gonna be much later in the show. It's subjective whether you would want
Oh,
your younger neighbor to hear this. So I'm letting you know.
okay.
This may not. You may want to have that kind of discussion with them at this time.
Listener
Okay.
Mommy and daddy,
discretion is
what's that?
advised.
What's that?
Mommy, daddy,
So
what's that? Oh, okay. Hey, here we
it's not
go.
nothing visual, but stuff that they
We still
discussing.
gonna get Dr. T
Okay.
fired.
Discussing. We're
It's
not gonna
gonna
get Dr.
happen.
T fired. This is gonna be
This is
this
great.
is gonna be
This
later in
is
this.
great.
This is gonna
Can
be
you
towards the
get
end of
fired
the
after you
show.
say I'm out?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
This is gonna be towards the end of the show, so younger
Okay,
neighbors could by then they should be in bed anyway. But who are me to
bruh.
judge? There are
This
some younger neighbors in the other time zones that check it out. So
She has scrubbed us completely from any of her social mentions as she transitions into this new time.
I believe it.
Bruh, we are
I
not
believe
going
it.
to be allowed anywhere near her until her probation
This
period
is
is up in the
not
new
true. None of
So
this is true. These are
after
all
6 months, she's
lies.
going to holler at us.
All right, so let's start with the Dr. T moment. So this is the first time, which I'm about to see, the first time she ever appeared on the screen with us. If you recall, we had this is back when we were letting other neighbors kind of just join us. We had like almost open casting almost. All right, and
Come
so the
on.
first neighbor that took us up on it was Mac. Remember, it was me, Mac, and Dre.
He came
And
with liquor on
during
the air.
okay, well, look,
Yes, he
He
did.
during
came
that
with liquor
show,
on the air.
Mac known for his many spicy takes.
Yes.
Mac had a take about waiting to exhale, and pretty much how the movie was nowhere near as good as the soundtrack.
Agreed.
And Dr. T only thing she heard was nowhere near as good. She didn't even hear the rest of it, and she got fired up. So I'm going to show you the very first time she came on camera with us, and fired off this. We had a little debate about the movie Waiting to Exhale. So neighbors, check this out.
I just want to say
Okay.
we really, really, really need some feminine energy in here.
Okay.
We have to say that. First of all, did you forget that Angela Bassett was in Waiting to Exhale? We don't just watch that for the soundtrack. Did you forget that Loretta Devine was in Waiting to Exhale? Did you forget that a Black woman, Terry McMillan, authored the best-selling New York Times selling novel that then became the film Waiting to Exhale?
Yes, she gave it to a man, the dude with the crooked eyes, who directed
Forrest
Whitaker. And it was not as good as the book.
That's usually what happens, with our stuff. That's usually what happens. Somebody else figures out a way that they can make money off of it. And, we do what we got to do.
I told you we wasn't ready.
We don't own the platforms. That's all I'm saying.
So, the very first time
she came in spitting fire. She came in spitting fire, cuz.
Yes.
Off the Mac was rope. Like, who is this?
Who is this chick? I've been watching this show for years. And I sat there saying nothing. I was like, dude, this is not going to go well.
I didn't know at the time. I didn't know her either. I mean,
you did? Okay.
We have never met in person.
Oh, yes. To this day, yes.
Yeah, to this day. Me and Dr. T never met in person.
I don't even know if Cliff has legs.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, wow.
It
got dark.
It got real dark.
But yes, I was just like, I knew what was coming. I was a brother that I sat there. I said, hey, y'all ain't ready for this one. But Mac just sat there like, what's happened? He just sipped on liquor the whole time. I almost forgot that Dr. T had locks at one point.
Yeah, the evolution of my hair.
The evolution, indeed. I'm glad I got my camera angles down, though.
This is kind of like it. You would think I was going into witness protection, Mac. Like my hair is different. I'm moving to a different time zone. It seems real nondescript.
It really does.
I'm moving to Seattle, by the way. I just got a job at a different university.
Hey man, we wasn't gonna tell your business. Yeah, we wasn't tell them. Neighborhood will pop up on your doorstep. You better be careful. Yo, the dude with the crooked eyes though, my man, Cliff,
I couldn't remember my brother's name.
She had just discombobulated you so much.
I remember being very disappointed in that movie. Actually having read the book. Like I was a teenager when I came out.
You read the book?
Yeah, well, during the show, I said then during the show, and I'll say it now. Yeah, I read the book. My mom used to read a lot, and she had books, and that was one of the books she had. Well, my mom still reads a lot, but she had that book, and I read it because she had it.
I don't know if I was ready for that revelation. I don't even remember that. Okay.
All right. So another topic on that show, we did. Remember, we used to do the one gotta go type stuff.
Yes.
So we had 4 black TV shows on the screen. It was A Different World, Martin, Fresh Prince, and Living Single. And Dr. T got a little spicy because
as usual.
Yes.
Spicy hot takes.
Spicy hot takes. Because I think the 3 of us agreed that of those shows, Living Single would be the one that would have to get the axe.
I remember this.
Yes, but she was not too happy with us.
She was not happy.
I had so much energy. I was on sabbatical.
So you can
I had so much energy.
You had time. So check this out.
And don't get me started on Living Single versus Mark.
Wait, what side of the fence are you on?
She's on Living
Single. Living Single. So you were right, Mac. We cannot do away with Living Single. The only show of the ones that you mentioned that really center Black women's narratives.
A Different World was based on a Black woman going to college.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay.
Truthfully, they went away from that.
Wayne and Ron and all that mixed in.
Of all the center characters of A Different World, only 2 of them were men.
I agree. A Different World we are keeping as well. Martin has to go.
Oh, you see?
Oh no.
Point blank. Now listen, that's
I'm about to see that's
yo.
Listen to the discrimination. That's okay. That's okay. When I come on the show for real, I'm gonna have all kinds of feminine. And don't get me started on Living Single versus Mark.
So yeah. So
yo,
she was out here saying craziness, talking about Martin had to go of those 4 shows. And no,
what was so much 4? Energy
I couldn't allow it. The 4 shows were A Different World, Martin, Fresh Prince, and Living Single.
Oh, Fresh Prince was in there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Living Single had to go.
Living Single.
I don't understand what the argument was.
she was upset because
we Dr. T in this moment on your way out the door. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you got a chance to walk that back if you want.
You can walk that back.
No, I don't have anything to walk back.
Of the 4 of those, which one you keeping in? I mean, which one you letting go?
I have to. I'm not tossing out. Living Single is too important to the culture.
She is true to her feminine pride.
That was the only. That was one of the few shows. That was like Black women's first entree into like Sex and the City type stuff. Sex and the City and Friends were biting off of Living Single. Actually, they set a whole new paradigm. They were a paradigm shift in evening adult friend-based ensemble sitcoms. They really were.
Yeah, but the argument at the time, we weren't like bashing Living Single. We had to pick one, and compared to the others,
right? And so, but that's what I'm saying. You have to keep that one. It is hard. I have had actually, might have been a couple months ago. One of the neighbors has never let me live that down. Oh, and this neighbor is actually a woman as well. We were at she's brought it up multiple times. I love her, Chantel, but
she knew you was on some whole craziness.
And she was like, "But really though, she has brought this up multiple times. Or we're just recreating and all that."
Chantel will bring us some old stuff.
She loves Martin.
It gets even more interesting from there. So we had during that same. Well, no, then was this. this is another show. I can't remember I can't remember the same show or the next one. Anyway, we had a discussion. We had 4 female gospel artists on the screen. Dorinda Clark, Karen Clark, Erica Campbell, Tina Campbell, and we said one of these artists have to go just for the sake of discussion, just for having fun. And so
I took it seriously, didn't I?
Yes, she did.
Yeah,
I didn't get the fun part until later.
You killed Erica Campbell in this, if I'm not mistaken.
Here we go. So let me know one of these artists have to go based on their solo career only. Starting from the top, you have Dorinda top with the big earring, Dorinda Clark. Next to her is Karen Clark. Underneath Dorinda is Erica Campbell, and next to Erica is Tina Campbell.
How are you gonna do this to Erica?
You say Erica would have to go based on a solo career. Solo career.
Wait, I don't.
One of these women have to go based on.
No, I meant Tina.
I reject this question on behalf of all the women in the neighborhood.
I was waiting for that.
I forgot to get a disclaimer. I'm sorry. Hold on.
I was waiting for this.
This is just for fun. All these women are.
I was waiting for this.
All these women. I forgot to give the.
Get them, Tamika. Get them.
Eliminating black women is done for fun.
Oh, he's consistent.
Yo, somebody said, "I know all these wigs gotta go. All these wigs gotta go."
These are not the best images, but this is
okay. So these images are based on the sizes of the picture. I gotta give you all my background stuff because so I picked
Tamika out here shooting tonight.
I picked images similar sizes that I could easily crop them and put them together.
Which Campbell is on the right? Which Mary is that on the right?
Tina.
That's Tina.
She out.
So it really comes solo career only. It comes out between Tina and Dorinda.
Erica is out.
And
your solo career?
Solo career?
Tina can sing better than Erica. I don't agree with Tina's politics. I think Erica, you know why? Y'all, Erica Campbell is exhausted. She has 20 jobs.
Yo.
She's exhausted.
So let me know one of these artists. Okay.
Yo.
There you go.
Dr. Joe, I'm glad you eventually started to have fun with us.
This wasn't even her first show. Was this was like when it was her turn to co-host because she was
okay.
So yeah, it was that deal.
So many improvements have been made. First of all, I love her background now a lot.
They changed. My backgrounds have changed. My hair has changed.
You changed rooms in the crib.
I literally did change rooms.
All right, so I got one more video to play. Dr. T's greatest hits. So this was same show. We had this show was right after the verses with Kirk Franklin and Fred Hammond.
Okay.
So we were talking about that and everything that went on with that. And Dr. T just came out with this crazy take just out of nowhere, unsolicited, but she had something to say about people's clothes.
You know what? Small guys wear small clothes because they think it makes them look buffer.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Thank you for that knowledge.
Just wear grown-up clothes. I also probably think Neighbors, Kirk Franklin wears women's clothes. I think probably.
Oh, Jesus!
I don't know that.
Wow.
I think not to present himself as feminine, but just look at you're just like, yeah, I feel like I saw that.
Here we go.
And not to say that I shop at the same Saks as he does. I shop at Office online, not at the actual Saks. But I just feel like maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's a possibility.
So
some of the neighbors agree with me. You know what? Small guys.
Yes. There you go.
I should have said that.
Just out of nowhere, she just goes in on Kirk Franklin's clothes.
I knew you were going to say that. I would like to walk that back. I would like to say that I think it came out wrong. I was edited. And she to be? No. What I was intending to say is I have met Kirk Franklin been very close to him.
Yes.
Gave him a hug. Right. I've been close to him in two times. One was in college. He came to give a talk, and some of us got to go backstage and mingle and chill. He was great. I love Uncle Kirk. Okay. What I meant to say is that he is very petite. He has a petite frame.
So this is getting better.
He's a short man. He's a small man.
He's small, but he is very manly. He is a manly man, and I never want to take away from that, and that's not okay. And so I hope that y'all know me and know my heart and know that I should not have said that, but
your comment was not an indictment on his sexuality.
No, I just want to be clear. I wasn't saying that, it was a gender fluid thing. What I was saying is that he's just incredibly petite.
Okay.
I don't know if that's better, but okay.
It's all good.
But people don't call men petite, but some men are petite.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's just like petite is the opposite of husky.
Can we? I like words.
It's just a word. It's just a word to describe stature.
Can we get Mac's last comment on the screen?
I know.
And that's why we can never have Kirk on the show.
You're welcome.
We just gotta go look at old shows before he makes a decision.
We can never have nice things.
We could be like, this is why she's not on the show no more. She was talking bad about you.
We knew she was crazy.
We knew she was out of pocket, so she had to go.
Can I just say though that like the first, until I really got into a rhythm here, Dre, you like my first shows, you were just kind of like,
what's gonna happen?
And Cliff was like, wait a minute. No, that's not.
Because you had to realize, because the way I known you, it's like, her mind is going to go to work and she's going to say, and she came out the gate talking about feminine energy. It's like, I don't have anything for her. I come on here to make jokes. She's about to dissertate me to death. And I don't know what's going to happen.
That's why she came on that very first time when Mac was on, because her and all the women in the chat were just rising up about where the women at and all that other kind of stuff.
Blew up our whole neighborhood.
And so she was like, I volunteer as tribute, and then
it just went from there.
Basically,
I remember that conversation. Because it was just supposed to be a one-time thing, and we got done. I was like, yo, we should get her back on the air. We should just have her on.
Yeah, I think I did like one more show after that. I did a show,
right?
Like you were saying,
that was what you saw. That
and then
the show you did from your show,
and then the rest. Then I didn't do like a few shows because you had other guest hosts, and then
the rest was history.
I was like, guys, that was really fun. I'm bored. I'm on sabbatical.
That's what it was.
Come back.
I need something to do.
And then life got back to busy again. Yeah. And she left us.
Nice little trip down memory lane.
Wow. Yes. Dr. T, hot takes, bringing the tea all the time. Nothing but spice.
That was so funny.
That's great.
Interesting. That makes me miss my locks, honestly.
Okay. I don't think that's what we were going for out of that whole trip.
A woman on a hair journey.
Let her miss whatever she wants to miss.
Okay, I know I'm look prettier now, and so I like to say that. Like my glow is amazing.
So we still got a lot of show. You got something to say?
No, go ahead, brother.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We still got a lot of show, so we will definitely come back to Dr. T one to two more times before we end for the day.
Plenty of spice.
But I want to get into some of the news stuff that's been trending, interesting topics. The first thing I want to talk about is Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
She was banned from receiving communion from the San Francisco archdiocese because of her position on abortion. And the archdiocese, I'm quoting, says, as you have not publicly repudiated your position on abortion and continue to refer to your Catholic faith and justify your position and to receive Holy Communion, that time has now come. Therefore, in light of my responsibility as the Archbishop of San Francisco, to be concerned for all the Christian faithful entrusted to my care, and he references a code, by means of this communication, I am hereby notifying you that you are not to present yourself for Holy Communion, and should you do so, you are not to be admitted to Holy Communion until such time as you publicly repudiate your advocacy for the legitimacy of abortion and confess and receive absolution of this grave sin in the sacrament of penance.
Wow.
He said all that to say, don't come to any Catholic church asking for communion because you ain't getting it.
So she can't come on First Sunday.
Well, if I'm not sure when the Catholics do communion, to be honest with you, I'm not sure if it's
this is the Catholic version of being
if
set
it's every
down.
if it's every Sunday, and as often as they drink it, she's not drinking it. Let me say that.
Okay. I thought everybody
when they do this
Sunday.
in remembrance, she can't in remembrance with them.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
pretty bold.
That's
you're
not my bold. God. I don't understand how that works. Like, you're not my God. I don't have to listen to you. I have a direct relationship with God. Like, why do I have to go through you to get communion?
Yeah, it's really weird because from what I understand, in order to receive communion, you have to be saved and accept Christ.
Right.
Right. And be repentant or free from and or repentant of sin.
Right.
Right. So having a stance on abortion, is it a sin? Is that a sin? Because you have a stance on abortion, like you A, are not performing the abortion, and you B, have not getting an abortion. You just have a viewpoint. So is having a viewpoint on something a sin?
Huh. That's a wild I guess because she she's not on the Supreme Court, so she can't really affect this. Yeah, is having an opinion on an opinion a sin?
Well, to some Catholics, yes. The problem is there's way too much, to your point, Mac. I think Mac was making this point. And Anthony, like, there's a lot more micromanaging, let's call it, within Catholic rituals and traditions that allow all these intermediaries to manage people's personal relationship with Christ. You know, you're talking about a church that used to not have Bibles, you know, just like in the pews, used to do, and this is going really old school, but used to do services in Latin that English speaking people attended. So, you know, there was not really this in some cases has not been known to be a very grounded or accessible expression of the faith. So this is jacked up though. And I feel like something else happened that he didn't like, that she did that he didn't like. And maybe this is a dig at her or retribution for that. Because I'm like, there's been a lot of politicians who are Christian, including Catholic, including the president, you know, who are pro-choice at least. Right. And they haven't been, you know, this is basically excommunication.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you mentioned the president because last year, the Conference of Catholic Bishops, they tried to vote to deny President Biden communion as well. But the Pope has spoken out against this.
Yeah, I thought he said really, they can't do this.
Yeah, really, this is the American bishop problem. Like bishops in other Catholic bishops in other countries are not denying people communion for these reasons. Just, of course, a bunch of American bishops. And he has spoken out against this. And of course, the Pope does not agree that they should be doing these practices.
Yo, I love the fact that other Dr. T is hyping his wife up. That's right, baby. You teach that. And so you out here giving us knowledge. I appreciate it. Yeah, I thought the Pope
had high school.
Oh, okay. I thought I thought the Pope had come through and said you should not ban somebody because of this. And so doesn't that override everything in the Catholic Church? What the Pope says?
He's in Italy. I mean,
no, but the Pope is still the overall leader. I'm not sure. I'm not sure this is like an official edict from the Pope. Like, you should not be doing this. This is my official whatever. I think he's just making a statement. Like,
I would
he's just
imagine there's
expressing his
also
feelings. You know what I'm
and
saying?
there's probably checks and balances, right? Like he can't just.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure
I
there's
mean,
something.
he has more power than the archdiocese of San Francisco or whatever this order is coming down from. But it's still not just like the president. Like he still has there's some accountability structure. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I'm just saying.
I have no idea what the powers of the Pope are. I'm not going to act like I know, but I'm sure there's some things that he can unilaterally say, yes, you're doing this, or no, you can't do this. I'm guessing, but I don't know where that falls in line with this particular.
And it's like,
incident.
and what would Jesus say? What does Jesus say on this? Jesus says, "Let her break bread." Okay.
I thought it was this whole none can come to the Father but by me. It's like I don't.
Go
it's
on
like
down to your local missionary Baptist church, Nancy.
Hey, we gonna hook you up with nothing but the finest, and we gonna get you some communion and a good song.
This just establishes. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Y'all don't even get good praise and worship where you go now.
Yeah,
what's your praise and worship like? Nothing.
This establishes a very weird precedent.
Yes.
And where is the line going to be drawn from people being denied communion for things? I mean, we're talking about the church, a church that is known, not this Archbishop's particular church, but the Catholic Church that's been known for inappropriate conduct with young boys. Where do we start drawing the line? I don't know if this bishop ever made a comment about his fellow brethren in the faith. Has he?
Holy shots fired!
Has he made statements? Has he ever made statements about that? But he's making. I'm just saying, like, we shouldn't be throwing stones as believers. That's all.
Well, you better take it to a biblical scene. On
I got nothing there. Shout out to the other Dr. T, Dr. CT. That's how I call him. He said, the Pope can override anything that any bishop does. He is the supreme pontiff. He's considered infallible in official church doctrine. So
there you go.
I hope they.
This
Nancy,
is some political stuff.
Nancy,
but the Catholic Church is real political.
Yes,
traditionally. So they are the original mega church, by the way. And I hate how when everybody starts talking about mega churches, they get excused. Just because people now ride around in Bentleys, and the Pope might actually
about to say,
eventually, but he got a private jet. He got all let's be very real, okay? What some unnamed mega church pastor in Texas or Atlanta or whatever might be rolling around in, that is nothing compared to the Vatican. Okay,
Nancy, we will gladly take your tithes. Bishop Amy, they will take your Pentecostal. They will take.
Nancy wrote the First Baptist. They give you communion.
Now you got to put on a skirt if you go into
PAW.
That's all right.
Whatever you get you communion somewhere else.
There are several denominations that will willingly take that first fruit. So you come on over, and we might get you a chicken plate afterwards. That's all I'm gonna say.
Just make sure you bring your offering.
Make sure you bring it now.
There might be two offerings depending upon, and you will be in there a little bit longer than you.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry about it though.
You want to expand that schedule.
That's the exchange. You get communion, but you're gonna be there 2.5 hours.
Sit towards the back so you can scoot out after communion. That's all I'm gonna say.
I want y'all to check out this interaction that was happening between these two preachers. Sometimes people get up and they don't do exactly what they're supposed to do. You get up to church, you're supposed to do one thing, but you feel like you want to preach to do something else. Well, this preacher actually calls out this other preacher on that thing. Check this out.
When I looked at this program, I thought it said manna from heaven, right? You was on program to do what? Words of encourapment. So what are you doing? Sir, I thought I was sorry. No, I understand that, but there's an order to this. I apologize. You literally came up here and preached. There's literally nothing for you, and I'm not going to come behind you and preach because I would be out of order. Can't see you tell y'all about order, then I come behind you and try to, redo what it is that you just did. I drove 50 minutes to come here on an assignment, and you came here to preach. There's a difference between an assignment and to preach.
Oh.
I came with a mandate. You came here to preach.
Why are you
Look at all these people that just left. Look at the manifestation of what you just did. You encouraged them to left, so you did your part.
Okay. Would you guys like to pick a side?
You know what? I really like his loafers. I know that has nothing to do with nothing. They're matching. His loafers match the pew, and I respect that. And his locks look nice and fresh,
right?
And that's hard because they are like over halfway down his back. This was nasty.
Yeah.
This was so nasty. And it's like people are leaving because you've made everybody uncomfortable. And then it's like, how dare you rebuke that man in front of that congregation like that? And you don't even belong to that church.
Right.
So who I would be looking at, and this man is actually receiving it. Yeah. Now, you lucky.
Yep.
He isn't like some of these folks that we didn't watch on these videos.
Yeah, be ready to fight.
This would be it would be like world star about 5 seconds in. But I'm looking at where's the actual pastor? He should have stepped in and was like, yo, like, okay, this isn't, even if the man was wrong, that's not how you handle it. That was nasty.
And the brother next to him and the I don't know, that's royal blue and yellow right there. You see him towards the end, like try to grab his arm a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe try to calm him down a little bit, but they could have shut that off a little bit earlier. I can't even say respect to the brother. I don't think I'm sitting there taking that. Maybe we're just, I don't know. That's not going to work for me.
Once the brother in the suit, like he was clearly apologetic. You didn't have to go in on him that deep. He wasn't pushing back. He apologized. So your point was made. You didn't have to start pointing to people, look at the people, all that. I think he went a little bit too far. This would have been done a lot better in person, in private, than in front of everybody. I hope that brothers don't feel scarred after this.
Oh, he's definitely going to. He was humiliated 100%. In front of. He's probably never been humiliated that bad.
Well,
as an adult,
but he will learn now that you need to get up there and do what you're supposed to do and sit down.
But it's on the internet.
Or he may never walk into a church again.
Exactly. It's on the internet. There's no going back from this now. Like, it's forever.
I feel like because he was so, to your point, Cliff, because the man was so, meek, as in like the biblical sense of that word, because he was meek and humble, that actually, this dude is an abuser, a spiritual abuser. He actually kept going.
Yeah, that's my problem.
When the whole thing was settled. So if he would have got all up in your face and stuff, but because he didn't, that's an abuser. And so I would be questioning my pastor more than anyone else if I went to that church, because the pastor should have ensured that he was trained properly, understood what he was supposed to do. He may not have known, because some people don't know the difference between exhorting, encouraging, whatever, and then giving an actual word. Perhaps he's still in training.
Yep.
And it sounds like the program was kind of extra anyway, if you had two speakers. So maybe he just didn't know any better.
All right, we're going to move on. I want y'all to check this out. So according to the description of this video, when I got it, this man is proposing to a woman at her husband's funeral. And you just See, Sister Bertha in the back was like, I had enough of this. I'm getting up. Yeah. So so for the audio listeners, what you see is a man. He is in front of the casket, kneeling down in front of the widow, who is sitting down, and he is proposing. He has a ring in his hand. They get up. She gets up and they hug. I'm assuming she said yes to his proposal. And the camera cuts to some sister in the back who is walking out because she's seen enough.
There are some larger cultural contexts that I need to understand before I fully comment.
This is probably a cultural thing.
Yes,
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Because I actually, and working with certain students, I've learned some things. It's very interesting. I had a young man whose father passed away, and his mother was put into some awkward positions as who was going to step up and take care of the family. And culturally, it was just a weird and interesting thing. So that's wild. That's wild.
This is where the kind of Black you are matters.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because Black is super diverse.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a kind of Black. This would not have gone down like this.
This happened in Black America.
They're gonna stomp the mess
Pretty
out
much
of
anywhere in Black America.
The deceased person's family would have been all over my man.
World star.
Oh, they would have stomped the mess out of that man.
Yeah.
You gonna do this, my brother?
Probably and her. She would have gotten dealt with too for so graciously accepting it. But perhaps this is culturally aligned. Who knows?
Hey, my brother ain't even in the ground yet. You gonna be in here talking to his girl, man? He ain't even in the ground yet. This is his wife, man. Like, yeah, that would have gone a whole different way.
This seems really coercive too. It's like it's too many mixed emotions.
And what's she supposed to say?
Offer nobody nothing like that when they grieving.
There's some interesting fashion choices happening right behind them in terms of knit hats and masks. It's a lot happening. If you just watch the camera right after this, it's going to quickly just several different knit hats and masks. It just
it's cold.
Winter.
I don't know what's happening. There's a lot happening.
All right, I got. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, brother. I just hope the next relationship is very fruitful. Amen.
Two more videos I want to play. This next one, well, they both you could. The last one is probably something you might not want your younger neighbors to hear because you have to have a discussion about what's this and what's that.
Right.
This one is you can use your own judgment, just fair warning. So check out this one. When you have outdoor service, you get all kinds of colorful people can just come by. I want y'all to check out this woman. So you have to. It's a delayed payoff, but I promise you it pays off in the end.
Okay.
Gotta wait for it.
I'm enjoying the dulcet tones of the Six Tops. What?
Look at homegirl on the left.
Who's getting her?
Here come Deacon Willie.
He don't know what to do with that.
Deacon Willie like, So yeah, so for the audio listeners, what happened was there was a woman. This brother was singing their quartet music in the outdoor service. This woman walks by, and then she proceeds to go to the steps of the church, and then she proceeds to twerk on the steps of the church. To the church's credit, Deacon Willie and Sister Mabel, they come and they escort the lady off of the steps and say, "Sister, there's a better way."
Yo, what? Yo, God bless her. She's on that good stuff. Yo, we got
that woman is free and free indeed in the presence of her Lord. Let me tell you that right there.
Don Abdullah gonna say, yes, sis, dance like David danced. And David danced got naked. And so we don't know which way this is gonna go.
God knows her name.
Exactly. And Max said she had some cooling water before she got there. 100%
The
agree.
Lord still loves you, sister.
I love
Amen.
this. Because nowhere else could this happen. I mean, there is still just a freedom of expression within worship. The fact that people weren't just, they just kindly said, okay, let's just come over here. Nobody beat her down. Nobody said she couldn't have communion. Let's just come over here, sis.
Here's the wild part about it. When you're dealing and when you're doing what the church is actually supposed to do, which is go beyond the walls of the church and actually reach into the community and affect people and change people's lives in the actual community, sometimes you're going to run into unchurched folks who don't know how else to react.
Jesus.
Well, all they know is they're being moved in some way.
Exactly.
That's all they
That's
know.
right.
And they're going to go with what they know. And if she knows twerking, that was her move right there. And so it's not necessarily correct, incorrect. It's just she knows what she knows, and they're reaching somebody who needs to be reached. So I can't be too mad at that.
Move as the Spirit moves you.
Amen.
I love that.
All right. So this next thing, like I said, it may spark content that you don't want to discuss with younger neighbors.
Cliff,
this is the last and final warning.
I still need a job, Cliff.
So what we're about to see is there's this pastor who just to give you background, this pastor you're going to see in the beginning of the video, he is going to be apologizing for adultery.
Okay.
He's going to be apologizing for committing adultery that occurred 20 years ago. So he'll talk about, and a lot of this I've had to edit out, but he's talking about what?
Oh no, I'm just shocked at the story.
Oh yeah, apologizing for committing adultery. This is 20 years ago. The catch is that the person he committed adultery with, well, his wife knew about it, so he's going through the healing process throughout those 20 years, blah blah blah. The catch is that the person he committed adultery with was a woman in the church. The double catch is at the time this young girl was 16 years old.
No, that's called rape.
And so what you're going to see is the pastor's going to address the church about it, and then the woman and her husband will come up to the stage, take the mic, and then they'll say something. So I want y'all the video. I edited. There's a lot of context in between that I edited out, but it's a little long. But we're going to stop. We'll talk and do some other stuff. So check this out.
I committed adultery. It was nearly 20 years ago. It continued far too long. It involved one person, and there's been no other, nor any other situations of unbecoming conduct for the last 20 years. I will not use the Bible to defend, protect, and deflect my past sin. I have no defense. I committed the adultery. To say it plainly, I didn't make a mistake. I didn't have an issue. I didn't have an affair. I didn't make a misjudgment. I sinned. If you love.
So that was a pastor. He openly admitted he committed adultery. And so now what you're about to see is the woman, or who was a young girl at the time, but the woman and her husband, they pretty much just took to the stage. Nobody asked them to come up. They took it upon themselves to go up to the stage. And you're going to hear them speak their piece right now.
Please let us talk.
For 27 years, I lived in a prison. It was not 20 years. I lived in a prison of lies and shame, lying to protect the Lowe family. For years, I thought I was a horrible person having suicidal thoughts, not realizing what had been truly done to me, that I was a victim and I would still be in a prison if my brother, and many of you know him, Edgar Wolf, had not approached me just 2 weeks ago with what he had seen as a teenager that bothered him all these years. His pastor in bed with his younger sister, a t-shirt and underwear on. People knew but were too afraid to come forward, and they have now. The lies and the manipulation have to stop. I was a prisoner and you kept me in your prison. I'm a prisoner no longer. I was just 16 when you took my virginity on your office floor. Do you remember that? I know you do, and I have plenty of other stories that I could bring to your remembrance. You did things to my teenage body that had never and should have never been done. If you can't admit the truth, you have to answer to God. You are not the victim here. I tried to tell someone, but all that was done was cover up. No one ever came to me. No one ever helped me. No one ever got me counseling. I have wanted to talk to somebody all of these years and never. You have somebody that you talk to. I never have. The church deserves to know the truth. This church has been built on lies, but no more. The lies need to stop. I could give story after story after story to what you did to me. Michael, your dad is not the victim here.
So I'll stop right here. What happens is, I believe it's kind of hard in the distance, but the person holding the camera is going to get closer in a second. So the person who's standing up right now, this gentleman right here, I believe that's the pastor's son. And so he's what any son would do, is defending his father. So
How?
I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying that's what he's doing.
Cliff, this is real.
I'm just delivering the mail. This is very real. I'm just delivering the mail.
A partial truth is not true.
Yes, a lie.
If I would have gotten counseling, your dad would be in prison. It might not be the way, but every time.
I'm just gonna stop. For the audio listeners, what happened just now is the pastor came on stage and kind of asked his son to step off the stage because he was kind of in the woman's face.
You covered up for Russ Spangle. My best friend was my age when your associate pastor was molesting his 2 daughters. And you know that. You sent him to be a pastor at another church. We can call Melanie right now, and Cassie, her sister. They sat down with you. You sent Melanie away. Don't look at me like that.
Oh, she's putting people's names out there.
Oh, yeah.
I know, but you can tell the truth because this is a lie. But you need to tell the truth. You know better than it was.
Listen, my wife is not just adultery, it's another level when it's a teenager. And I will not let this man talk about my wife like that. It happened for 9 years. When she was 15, 16, the sexual grooming started. And it lasted until she met me and we started dating. This is the truth. And that's all we're going to say, except just that's it.
Have numbers? You can talk to my brother.
That's fine. This necklace was Bobby's. It was given to her by Joe II and possibly other people in the office. They might have received necklaces too as like a ministry gift. I'm not trying to stretch the truth here. But it was in our house and I'm giving it back. This was Bobby's covenant of purity ring, which she wore while this man had sex with her. And she felt ashamed all these years wearing a covenant of purity ring. She felt a lot of shame and guilt. We are working through love and forgiveness. We're working through it. But people have to be held accountable and they can't just bamboozle people and just say, well, I just committed adultery. It was far beyond adultery. So here's the covenant of purity ring back. I don't want it in my home. We're done.
I don't know if he should have done that.
Wow. If you did it, you need to admit it. 100%. You need to admit it.
Oh, no.
We need to hear from our pastor, the man who was Atlanta. Give me the microphone. Not you,
Jay, I told you I committed adultery. I told you that it went on far too long.
Did you do it?
That's all we need to know.
Yes, we did.
You didn't tell them she was 14 years old.
No, at 16.
Sorry, 16.
She was 16 years old, Jay. Okay? And it was wrong. I can't say it. I can't make it right. I can't make it any better.
Yeah, you gotta go to jail.
That's just the way it is. It's not all true, but that did happen, yes. She should have. I can't do anything about that except to tell you that if I could go back and redo it all, I would. I can't. And all I can do is ask you to forgive me. And I'm doing what the Bible process or biblical process is in the church. I'm stepping down, stepping aside. And, you know, it's been 20 years. I guess it doesn't count for anything.
No.
It doesn't.
You are a predator.
I'm letting it run because I want y'all to see what happens at the end, because I think what happens at the end is just as wild as it is wild also.
Bro, I can't take much more, brother. Can we just skip there?
I deeply hurt them. I deeply hurt you. I ask you to forgive me. And that's all I can do.
No, I mean,
for your word being true and working in our lives. God, love us so much.
This is just somebody praying. I don't know who. Maybe it's his son, but somebody's just praying over the church.
We're sorry for everything that we have done wrong in our lives.
We're hugging him now.
That you guide us
gets
this
worse.
week, that we pray, that you just help us.
Nah, man. Nope.
Look at that.
So much, God. God, I pray for this body that has been wounded, that you begin to heal us, Lord. That you can begin to bring us back together as a human, Lord.
So for the audio listeners, what happened at the end was the gentleman started praying, and dozens of people from the church come up to the altar, and then most of the church is now around the pastor, and they're all praying for the pastor, and they're all embracing the pastor. I know there is so much wrong going on here. I open the floor to y'all so y'all could comment, because I have comments, but y'all can go first. Speechless.
Yeah, and Chris said this was in the New York Times. I had not been literally living in a bubble for the past couple days. We have so much stuff going on. This is a testament. It's to the fact that girls and women are subhuman in many so-called Christian religious organizations. I mean, I don't even know if I can call this place a church.
No,
this is not in line with the biblical definition of church in any sense of the word. And because clearly the focus is not on God, it's not on the word, or even the law of the country that we live in. It's focused around the personality of whoever this individual, this leader, this pastor is. This is scary, but I have to say, I'm surprised that they actually allowed her to speak.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised at what happened. Women and girls are not seen as, in a lot of so-called Christian organizations, as full human beings, as full citizens of the church body, as deserving of agency and bodily autonomy.
Yeah. Donna made a comment. We need to remember this is the reality of way more churches than we want to realize. We can be shocked, but we need to be looking around our own pews. Very true. The church is where women and children are supposed to be protected. Men of the church It's our responsibility to protect the women and children of the church. I'm going to say this, and I'm not victim shaming. I just want to point out that, and I'm just saying this because I know a person would think this. I don't know. I don't know why they were still in fellowship with this church, or if they were, or did they just show up because they knew he was doing it this Sunday? I don't know.
You heard her
don't.
say it though. You heard
She
her say
said
why.
why she kept attending.
She was living in a prison. The prison wasn't necessarily physical; it was emotional.
There you go.
Yeah, it was a very deep thing. She said it several times, but she was in prison.
And it's unfortunate that she wasn't getting help. So if a child is not getting help, then a logical conclusion could be that the parents' children also failed that child.
Yes.
And that's unfortunate. And I feel for her. Because it's one thing to be failed by your pastor, but it's another thing to be failed by your parents.
I think one of the more disappointing parts of this whole thing for me is even in the moment of this woman finding her voice and standing in her truth. Once again, it was taken from her. If you watch the actions of the husband, he takes the mic, he declares his piece, and then while she's still obviously wanting to talk, he says it's over. And he begins to pull her out of there. I'm like, this wasn't really about you and your moments, sir. She had more to say.
Yeah.
This had been 27 years. Why are you once again shutting her down and trying to? I know he was trying to be supportive, but in that demonstrative moment, he was actually robbing her agency and her voice. And the fact that she had, it was this moment right here, like when she walked out, when he walked her out, she was saying more, and the fact that she was really, she had more to say. Like she's like, I have more for you. I got names, and when he said, I don't think she just should be calling out people's names necessarily. That's can be here or there, but that was I pray for healing for other victims' names. Yeah, other victims' names.
Yeah. Well, props to her for having the courage to even go up there.
Yeah.
And face your abuser like that.
Yeah.
There needs to be a massive, and I'm looking at this church. This is a church that is not struggling for finances.
Yeah.
They are financially secure and comfortable, judging from the chairs. These aren't just pews. And those chairs I happen to know are actually very expensive. Because I remember when my dad's church got chairs like that. Yes, these chairs are very expensive. They have a fancy screen. They've got the lighting. Like this is a very modern, updated sanctuary.
Right.
So that speaks to the finances. And I bring that up because we need to be investing in things like sexual harassment and abuse education. What this screams for me, and what I am glad that this illustrates, and I hope lots of people will see this, is that the church, the place where we're supposed to be an extension of the greatest love of all, nobody is equipped to handle what just happened. Not a single person in there does the right thing. Not a single person. The entire church should have left immediately. People should have been embracing that woman, and there should not have been even an opportunity, as far as I'm concerned, for that man to continue talking. As someone said, someone should have been calling the police because they don't know if the statute of limitations is up. And let me say this. Usually, just from the data, what we know is that this is usually happened to more than one person.
Oh yeah.
And so and especially if the person has not been incarcerated or faced any charges. So there needs to be a full-scale investigation, and we need to be asking, even when it's not like this. I'm telling you, there are a lot of churches where if somebody came and reported to you what was happening to them, people would not be equipped to know what to do. And we should encourage the ministers, the leadership at our churches to get trained on the exact set of steps to follow when something like this happens.
One of the most disappointing things about this is that in this instant, he got more love than she did.
What?
The entire church, well, not the entire church, but over half of the church, at least from what we can see, embraced this man and gave him love. And she was not afforded the same thing. And she's the victim. That's just sad. That's super sad.
Oh, brother.
I didn't, and let me, part of the reason why I wanted to do this video, I wanted to show this video. Like I grew up loving baseball. I promise there's a point to this. I grew up loving baseball. And there was a point in baseball that was a steroid era where players were doing steroids, right? Baseball writers and broadcasters weren't saying nothing. You mean to tell me you're a baseball writer, you follow the team from city to city, and you didn't know so-and-so was doing steroids, you never said nothing. And so I can't continue for us to do this show and for stuff like this to come out and us not say something about it.
Address something.
And not address it and call it out. So that's kind of why. I know it's not like the lighthearted stuff that we do from most of the time, but I think there's some instances that, we need to hash it out.
We'll probably need to put a trigger warning on the video.
Yeah.
We need to put a trigger warning.
Yeah, especially because of the descriptions.
We weren't really specific on what this was.
But it is important. I agree with you. Yeah. It is very important that there be discussions about this because it's happening. It's not this isn't an outlier. It's happening. And even if it wasn't in some cases, it's not as severe as this. But we all know, especially this goes for anybody, but I will say, especially girls who grew up in church. We all know the people who held hugs too long, who wanted you to give them a kiss, who wanted you to sit on their lap, who let their hands slip. All of that stuff is abusive. And it's not being checked. And I'm so glad that you brought this up because I think we don't even begin to have the language to discuss this in some Black churches and families. I don't even think we can even begin to discuss it, to have the language to discuss it. And because it's so rampant and thick, it's like people suffocate when it comes up. So they don't even want to talk about it at all. So I'm so glad that you brought it up, especially because as this sort of Me Too, Church Too movement has continued to proliferate, especially in public discourse, that just like the one for Hollywood has been mostly white women. This has been happening to Black boys and girls. But if we're going to focus on, I guess among the most vulnerable and where it's more cases is Black and brown girls, it's been happening.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody talking about when it happens in a storefront church. And that ain't hitting the New York Times. I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
So this is important. And hopefully we make some people uncomfortable so that people can at least start some conversations.
I just want to say that if you're still hanging with us, you're still watching this long. First of all, thank you. But if you have ever, man, woman, boy, girl, whatever you identify as, if you've ever been abused or in any type of way, please, I'm not saying this is easy. I know it might be painful. Please go get some help. Please. It will do you no good for the duration of your life to harbor what has happened to you without getting help. Um, whether it's mental help or spiritual help, whatever, help dealing with what you have experienced. So, whoever you are, wherever you are, um, what happened to you was not your fault. It's that horrible person that did whatever they did to you. But please go get some help. Anything else y'all want to say? No. I know there's no good segue to come off of this. And I didn't know where else to put it in the show.
Yeah. No, but that was important.
That's just a tough topic. There's no, you can't. There's no TTE about that. No.
Right.
No.
Didn't know what else to put in the show. I hate to dampen the mood. I know we lost some neighbors in the process.
We did, but hey, it is a tough. And I will say this honestly, I do take a moment and pray and ask for blessing for those some folks who may have been triggered. Like, what is interesting, and that's the only reason I said that. Knowing people just in and around my life who have gone through this type of thing, this can, and some of the struggles that they have had processing. This type of thing catching you off guard, especially when you come in here and maybe not expecting, could be a tough thing. For the neighbors that may have
tried to give a warning.
Yeah, it's it's what it is, and I pray blessings over those who may have been impacted and affected, and have been, and that member of the neighbors of the neighborhood. We ask that you, yes, we pray blessings over you all. Your heart, your mind, your spirit are protected, and you are made whole. That's just so many different questions and paths we can go down off of that. Is the thing in my mind is even just from an administrative standpoint, the fact that he was allowed to stand there and do that. Like, so somebody, unless they kept this completely secret and nobody knew this was coming, there were other members of leadership who said, okay, yeah, this is appropriate.
Yep.
And they gave you a mic. That could have been told by somebody else while this dude was sat down, not given some time to have some farewell opportunity, and like and reported. Like, I bump your statute of limitations. I'm gonna make sure that the statute of limitations that we call the police immediately. Like it's just yeah. Well, all right. Guess I was a little bit more thrown than anticipated.
Okay. President of the neighborhood, we pray. So Max says, congratulations, Dr. T, on your new endeavor.
Yes.
And then self-proclaimed president of the neighborhood.
I don't know what election he may have won for this. I don't know who voted in that election.
It was rigged.
Because I think he would have had some challengers for president of the neighborhood. But
I don't know.
Oh no, I think some people may.
I'm not even opening that can of worms.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But yes, Dr.
Thank
T,
you.
we appreciate you came along at a very crucial time for us, and an important time for us, and did add an important voice and an important perspective to this place.
So before you get to what you're around, she during the time when it was just her on the show,
right?
So the time after the show, after the Mac show, she had a quick one-liner that kind of summed up her sentiments. Check this out.
That's how God is. I'm so glad He allowed me to be a blessing to you too. That's how.
I'm so glad He allowed me to be a blessing to you too.
She comes on and does one show.
Wait, have we had the chance to say you've been a blessing this evening?
No.
Or is she just letting us know that she was a blessing to us?
She was just letting us know. I'm so glad.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, that's very on brand. I think that's on brand.
It is. Oh my gosh. What the energy I had
It
with
was
like
on brand this whole show. From
8 hours
from
of sleep every night,
on brand the whole time.
On sabbatical, I am searching for that sabbatical energy. Let me
Can we get the other Dr. T on the screen? I love his sentiments. Most definitely. Thanks, Dr. T. You did your thing, and he loves you. Amen. Amen.
This was so much fun. This is just so much fun. I will be listening. I will be on demand. And so I would be commenting into the ether where nobody will be there to
comment after the fact.
But yeah, this has really become one of my sweet spots, and so I just appreciate you guys for taking a risk on me, especially you, Cliff. You had no idea who I was.
I was just taking Dre's word for it.
It's been so real and so much fun, and yeah, I'm gonna be making some appearances. After I get my life together.
Most definitely. We want you. Eventually, I want Young Ro to make an appearance again. You know what I'm saying?
He did. That was some. I think he did that on some gigs on a gig that we got hired for. I don't think that was the show.
I need Young Cairo on the screen. That's all I'm saying. Young Ro, but yeah, man.
Did you have a rant for the people on Dr. T's last episode?
I've been absolutely zapped. Hey, let me say this, man. This is more of just a point of view that I want to put out there. And it's a little bit of an FBM, a fat boy moment.
All right.
I was somewhere with my wife. We got some food, and I saw that this particular restaurant had banana pudding. And so I'm like, yo, banana pudding at a restaurant, that's not usually where I'm operating at. Let me check out the banana pudding at a restaurant. I should have known, first of all, that I was getting banana pudding at a restaurant. That was my mistake. Then the banana pudding comes, and the banana pudding consisted of 3 wafers, 3 vanilla wafers. No, not vanilla, Nilla. 3 Nilla wafers, 3 dollops of whipped cream, and some banana flavored pudding.
No actual bananas.
No actual bananas.
I know exactly where you were.
Let me tell you something. If you are out here in these streets peddling banana pudding with no actual bananas in it, you are falsifying documents, you are telling lies, and you are committing a sin before the Lord. And you should repent. You should repent. And you should stop. And I don't approve of it. And we need to stop it. We need to stop it immediately.
Did you happen to be in your local region?
No. I was
you were out of town.
I want to know what you know so I can go tell them about themselves, though. If there is someone in the local region who was committing such crimes against food.
Yes, there are. Yes, there is.
We'll talk after the air. We'll talk off the air because they need to be addressed directly. So, yeah, that's all I'm saying.
There are certain things you don't order out unless you've heard from someone else.
That's true.
Yes.
That's
macaroni and cheese.
Thank you.
Banana pudding, yes. General like black southern puddings, cobblers.
Yes.
And potato
Etc.
salad.
Yes,
You
but
know, I don't eat potato salad.
yes,
but-
potato
So I've heard.
salad. Because keep in mind when people say, "Oh, I just go to Sam's," they're doctoring that up. Okay,
Yeah.
That's not just. Don't let your auntie fool you. They not taking it from the potato salad from the tub at your favorite big box retailer and then just putting it into the thing. They boiling eggs. They getting all kinds of Lowry's and whatnots.
Seasonings.
Mustard. They really going in. There's in some cases, I mean, I have seen my mom actually add her own potato salad
Potatoes.
to potato salad. These are all the ingredients that's in the potato salad, Mom.
Why not just
So
make your own?
basically, it's just like a support.
Yes.
It's not really the thing itself. So yes, these are things. Also, Chinese food. I don't go to Chinese food places unless someone has told me, yes, this is the place.
This is the place.
Yeah.
Very, very specific.
Yes.
You can't
And
just
I
be
have
out
my
here
favorite
willy-nilly.
place locally. But yeah, you can't just be out here. Certain things, it's like, and if you are going to a restaurant with food associated with a particular ethnic group,
Yes.
if you don't see any people who belong
Talk
to
about
that
it.
ethnic group
Talk about it, sis.
in said restaurant eating, and I mean like a bunch of them,
A bunch of them.
depart.
Depart.
Change the plan. Go somewhere else.
You've been hoodwinked.
You rolled up in the wrong place.
Yep.
That goes for soul food, barbecue, because everybody wouldn't think they can cook barbecue now. Any of these other delicacies that anybody thinks they can do. No, they can't.
The
You better
majority of
see
my
people
Asiatic
of that
brothers and
ethnic group
sisters.
up in there. I mean, in full force, really
Yes.
up in there. Like they
Yep.
with their cousins, their friends, they all up in there. Then you like, okay, got it. Because some people will eat anything.
And they will feed us anything knowing we are stupid Americans. And they will feed you anything like, no, we don't eat this, but y'all do.
But sometimes I appreciate the fake, like Olive Garden. That's not
Here we
real
go.
Italian food, but I
Go
love
with the
it.
food takes. Here
I
we
love
go.
it for what it is.
No, you're better than that. I refuse to go to Olive Garden.
What's wrong with Olive Garden?
I love it for what it is. I know it's not real Italian food.
I heard too many microwaves going off the last time I went, and this was years ago.
Oh.
I heard multiple microwaves ding in the back. I said, "We're not doing this. We're not doing this."
Olive Garden.
Yo, my wife does too. My kids do, and I don't understand it.
Olive Garden is fine.
No, it's not.
That's
It's
a
okay.
solid.
It's okay for what it is.
You're
It's,
on the road. You're in a weird town.
It's basically
like the town we
TGI
live in.
Ruby
You don't have
Italian
nowhere
food.
else to eat. Exactly. That's a solid.
No. I just can't.
Let's go.
And I
We
got
not
one.
being fancy. It's a solid, if you're a teenager, solid first date place.
Yeah.
Okay, I
As a
did do a date.
teenager.
I did do a date to Olive Garden.
There you
But
go.
as I've gotten older,
First date as a
You don't got a lot of
16-year-old.
money. You just going to get a salad and some breadsticks.
Hello.
but if you were
eating
taking
and
the
then
Olive
maybe get a
Garden, you was
dessert.
fancy back in my day.
Unlimited. Soup, salad, and breadsticks.
Peach
my brother.
Bellinis. Yeah.
Yeah, that's well, no peach bellinis if you're 16, but
Well, no,
if you can get a peach bellini, yeah, no, come
you
up a
shouldn't be
little
there.
bit above
See?
Olive Garden. No, I'm talking about for a date.
Oh, okay.
But if you're just chilling, look, especially where we live, Olive Garden is like
Yo, go to my Donna
5-star
Abdullah.
dining.
I must have been talking to my nephew because he's going crazy about the Olive Garden bubble guts. I have a child who.
I don't hear you. Is that me? You muted yourself. Yeah, you muted yourself. See, so happens you go off on the Olive Garden. Well, Dr. T, do you have any final words for the people? Before
Nope. I love y'all. I'll be around. I'll see you soon. To you two, I'll be watching.
Okay. Do you want to finish your Olive Garden take, brother?
No, because obviously God told me to be quiet. Talk about my daughter's bubble. She be getting but don't eat Olive Garden. Dr. T, good sis. You know, on both a professional and personal level, I love you.
It has been a pleasure.
I mean that seriously. I've been happy that you have joined me. This is a double hit for me because me and Dr. T are linked somewhat professionally, and it's been a tough one. And so, while I am happy for both Dr. T's, because let us not be clear, even though he is not on the, let's not be mixed, I should say, even though he's not on the screen, Dr. CT is also killing. Dr. Chris Townsend is out here doing his thing as well. Yes. And they are traveling as a power couple to another institution because my institution did not do what they needed to do. Anyway, I'm going to just keep moving. But I wish you nothing but the best. Blessings over you and your household, and we will continue to watch you rise. Thank you for being here with us. I mean that.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks, guys.
All right. One more housekeeping thing. We do this show every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on Facebook and YouTube. Want to thank everybody who hung with us live. If you can't watch live, you can always check us out on demand. You can go to turntoyourneighbor.com and get links to our Facebook page, links to our YouTube, links to the podcast. You can catch Turn to Neighbor podcast wherever you get your podcast from. We appreciate all the neighbors who hung out with us today and through the funny and the difficult conversations. We appreciate y'all for hanging out with us every week. The show is not the same without you. So we love y'all for watching and listening. All right. This is the end of an era, ladies and gentlemen.
One last time.
One last time. One more time for your holy mouth.
He been wanting to get that off for years.
Perfect.
All right, Dr. T, you will be missed. And we thank you so much for rolling with us. For the rest of y'all neighbors, until next time, take care and be blessed. Peace.